Making the transition from the Championship to the Premier League is never easy, especially if you're a smaller club like Norwich City. After a dream start in our return to the top flight, winning all 3 of our opening fixtures, it didn't take long until we came crashing back down to earth, losing our next 3 games and conceding 10 goals in the process. New manager Johannes Thorup's tactics seemed ready-made for the Championship. The system we played last season allowed us to dominate possession, play some free-flowing attacking football, and score plenty of goals in the meantime. But opposition in the Premier League are on a whole nother level. So a slight change to our approach as we start to face higher level opposition is going to be necessary. We are sticking with the 4-4-2 formation, but we have made a transition to the wing play tactical vision because we do now have far more options in terms of our build-up play and chance creation. So we're going to be going with fast build-up rather than slow like we employed with tiki-taka, and we're going to be going with direct passing. We're going to be sticking with 90 width, just 5 players in the box. Sargent, Broha going to be our main targets. We want the likes of Marcelino Nunez, Lewis Gibbs to remain on the edge of the box, but Borja Sainz and Johnny Rowe will be filling in from the opposite flanks. We want 4 out of 5 for corners. We've got a lot of good targets in addition to Sargent and Broha. We've got the likes of Patrick Pfeiffer, a new signing at the back, and Wesley Hoyt to aim for, but just 2 ticks out of the 5 in the box for free kicks. Defensively, we're going to continue to press after we lose possession, but we are going to be playing slightly narrower and slightly deeper with this particular system, inviting teams to come onto us so that we can hit them on the quick counter-attack with that fast building and direct passing. In terms of player instructions, Harry Toffolo and Marius Wolf will continue to join the attack on the overlap. Lewis O'Brien will be taking up the Kenny McLean role, so he's staying back while he's attacking and taking up a free roam role in the side. We do prioritise strong defending at centre-back in this particular system, so Hoyt, Pfeiffer aren't the best on the ball. Lewis O'Brien will be dropping deep to collect from them. Borja Sainz and Johnny Rowe will both be coming back to do their defensive work. They'll both be staying wide, and they'll both be getting into the box for the cross, whilst Armando Broja and Josh Sargent will hopefully complement each other as much as possible. Broja will take up more of a target man role, and he will be staying forward, while Sargent will be making runs in behind. He will also be coming back on defence. As for our attacking and defensive game plans, they stick fairly closely to the default with some subtle changes to the defensive approach and to things like plays in the box for set pieces as well as in open play. There are some ever so slight changes to player instructions as well. Josh Sargent staying forward in our attacking game plan, for example, or Harry Toffolo and Marius Wolf staying back while attacking whilst in our defensive game plan. When we do have a lead to defend late in the game, our ultra defensive game plan allows us to slip back into a flat back 5, whilst our ultra attacking game plan morphs into more of a true 3-4-3 when we are chasing the game. So hopefully with these new tactics we'll be just as good defensively, if not even better, and hopefully we'll be able to get on the front foot a little bit quicker once we do win the ball back, hit some of these higher rated teams on a quick counter attack when they do commit players forward. Now we have of course been using the tiki-taka tactical vision up until this point, so we will have to make some transitions in the back room in terms of our coaching staff, and until then we'll be without our bonuses. We won't be seeing these new tactics in action just yet though, because we're going to start out today's episode by simulating our second Carabao Cup game of the series against Sunderland. You'll also see highlights of our matches against Burnley and against Manchester United, each at Carrow Road, whilst our trip to Villa Park will be our featured game of today's episode. Kenny McLean will captain an almost completely rotated 11 today. Marcel Lotka makes another appearance in goal. Both Johnny Rowe and Tiano Ballo feature together, whilst Abu Kamara and Adam Eder start up front as well. And the starting 11 didn't manage to get it done, conceding the first goal to Sunderland 63 minutes in, but Barnes, Wolf each came off the bench and turned the game around late. Barnes equalising just 2 minutes after Sunderland opened the scoring, and Wolf securing the victory about 10 minutes later. So another narrow victory in the Carabao Cup, not quite as narrow as our 8-7 penalty win against Bristol City in the last round. We will continue to take the same approach to the Carabao Cup though. Avoiding relegation, of course, is our highest priority this season, and the FA Cup does hold more prestige. So we'll roll the dice with the Carabao Cup. We'll go as far as we can, but it's not going to be top of our priorities list by any means. We're also not going to see those new tactics against Burnley either, because they're going to take a similar approach, sitting deep and waiting patiently for the right moment to attack. So I do have the feeling the game would become something of a stalemate. So instead, we're going to be using the 4-2-3-1 that we used to such success last season. We'll try and dictate the game rather than giving Burnley the space to do the same. And we did get off to the start that we wanted, creating a couple of opportunities early, winning corners and free kicks in Burnley's final third, and get some half decent sights of goal. We just couldn't find the target though, and Josh Sargent surprisingly was the worst culprit. First putting his header from Lewis O'Brien's corner wide from just 5 yards out, and then firing this shot recklessly wide after cutting in off the left-hand side. Burnley were a little more proactive than their pre-match report suggested they might be though. Zeki Amdouni, their main danger man up front, but we would break the deadlock just before half-time. And who else would it be but Josh Sargent? Who else would it be with the assist but Marius Wolf? We've seen this connection so many times in this series. It worked to brilliant standards in the Championship, and it is working again here in the Premier League. Burnley did come out for the second half with a point to prove though, and they played some really nice football. One touch, quick, flowing attacking move down the left-hand side, allowed Larson to get free in the box, and he fired home to make it 1-1. And just moments later, they would be 2-1 up. The ball bouncing around on the edge of the box before it finally settled and was absolutely rocketed into the top corner. So from there, we really had to work to get back into the game, but Tieno Ballo linked well with Josh Sargent, setting away substitute Adam Eder to grab an equaliser. It was about 3 goals in 10 minutes after the break. And those 3 goals would define the game. 2-2 in the end. A point against a team who should be around the bottom of the table, fighting for relegation by the end of the season. However, I do anticipate us being down towards the bottom areas of the table. So good that we didn't allow Burnley to take all 3 from us at Carrow Road. We're going to have to play extremely well to even get a point against the Claret and Blue of Aston Villa though. Much of Aston Villa's starting 11 remains the same, but they do have a brand new pairing in centre midfield in Zubamendi and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Golovin also starts on the left-hand side opposite Diaby. Ollie Watkins, of course, starts up front. As for Johannes Thorup's 11, he has gone for the first time with the 4-4-2 featuring the new tactics. Kenny McLean comes into the midfield after disappointing performances from Liam Gibbs early in the season. And Tieno Ballo comes in on the right-hand side for pretty much the same reason. Johnny Rowe has had an underwhelming campaign so far. So without further ado, let's head up to Villa Park and see if these new tactics can help us take 3 points from a bigger club for the first time this season.
Some noise as we welcome our visitors, Norwich City and Aston
Villa. So we are up in the commentary box for another tough test. Probably not quite as tough as the 2 we faced in the last episode in terms of both Liverpool and Newcastle. But I don't imagine Aston Villa are going to be too far behind, and may even prove to be a tougher test than Newcastle, to be honest. Villa, of course, have a lot of talent in their squad, but not only that, they're always so difficult to play against. Their tactics just seem so well designed. They do commit players forward though, especially their fullbacks. Good challenge, Harry Toffolo. Loses out though to Diaby, who is into the box. Another good challenge, Toffolo, and Steele eventually pushes it away at the near post. So I think there could be gaps in behind for us to exploit with our new tactics that we are utilising for the first time here today. Headed clear just about. Saved again by Steele at the near post. Diaby once more hits the side netting. And I think within these first 4 minutes we have seen pretty much what we're going to see for the next 90. And that is Aston Villa dominating the game, spending a lot of time in our final third, winning a lot of corners, and really putting us under pressure. I think we're going to have to ride our luck pretty much as we have in the entire series so far if we are going to get anything out of today's game. Good challenge, Wesley Hoyt. Tries to hook clear. Bounces off an Aston Villa man. Bouncing around in the box now. And Lewis O'Brien eventually gets rid of it. And Harry Toffolo can break. And here we will truly see if these new tactics are going to work out for us. And Josh Sargent is in behind with a chance to finish. And hits it straight at Emi Martinez. That is exactly what we want to see, though. Good defending. Last-ditch defending at the moment, to be fair. But like we said, Aston Villa going to cause problems for most teams. If we can defend well, ride our luck at times, and get forward on quick counter-attacks just like that, we have a chance. A slim chance, a narrow chance, but a chance nonetheless. Another corner for Aston Villa. This is what, 3-4 already in the game. Patrick Pfeiffer can't win it back. Sargent also in the box trying to defend, though. Does manage to force the ball backwards at the very least, which is something of a win. Also, Brian can't win it. Ollie Watkins we're going to have to be very careful of today. And Steele not only saves, but keeps hold of the ball. Patrick Pfeiffer finds Wesley Hoyt. Toffolo in space on this left-hand side. Hoyt once more. The thing about these new tactics, however, is when we do have to build from the back, it's going to be pretty difficult to do that. And that is what you find when you play on with tactics like fast build-up, with direct passing. You don't only do that on the counter-attack, of course. Every time you win the ball back, even if you're just playing it across the back four, your midfielders, your forwards, they still just bomb forward. So you pretty much have to play direct for every minute of the game, or you're really going to struggle to build attacks from the back. But Aston Villa, of course, going to have a lot of possession. I don't anticipate there being too many times when we are looking to build from the back. Aston Villa get the shot away with Diaby, and it's another really good save from Steele. Aston Villa's attempts so far have been fairly comfortable for Steele to save. They haven't managed to really find the corner of the goal at any point. And this, I cannot wait for this in FC 25. What is Patrick Pfeiffer doing? Closing down the short corner. Will McLean get there? Yes, he will. Martinez doesn't come. Eventually he does. I thought that was there for Martinez to claim, but instead he stays back on his line. That is not something you often see from Emi Martinez. What followed is something you see very often. The save from the one-on-one, coming out, smothering. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the world in those kinds of situations. The save late in the World Cup final springs to mind, of course. But it's kind of become his trademark, his kind of signature as a goalkeeper, I would say, Emi Martinez. In addition to his kind of flamboyant, somewhat eccentric personality. Really poor pass from Borja Sainz. It's that ability to come out and smother shots in one-on-one situations. Borja Sainz has dropped a little deeper. And see what I mean? Sargent has just absolutely bombed it away from us there. And unless we just kind of lump it forward, we're really going to struggle to build anything. That is why I want to keep the kind of tactics we employ in the 4-2-3-1, the 3-4-3. Because against lesser opposition, against opposition that we should have a decent amount of possession against, we do still want to be able to play those kind of we do want to maintain those passages of play where we build from the back and we control possession a little more. Toffolo just lets it go over his head, out for a throw. which Matty Cash will take and gives it straight to Borja Sainz, who will burst forward. Josh Sargent has made a good run. It's going to be a difficult pass to find him, though. It's a perfect pass to find him, and it's a decent enough shot towards the near post from Josh Sargent. But Emi Martinez again equal to it. The weight on that pass from Borja Sainz had to be perfect, and indeed it was. Good save from Emi Martinez, though. Sainz will deliver the corner into a dangerous enough area. Toffolo then wins the header. Borja Sainz puts it back in. Broha, the ball doesn't quite reach him, and Aston Villa just head away. Broha has had kind of a tough start to his Norwich City career, I would say. He's been okay. How is that a free kick, ref? Lino even. He has opened his scoring account for us, but hasn't quite scored as many goals as we would have hoped. But it has been, you know, a difficult start to the season beyond episode 1. And he is, of course, playing in a partnership now. He would be used to playing up front by himself. I can feel the left trigger on my controller stick, and I'm going to have to switch at half time, if not before. Patrick Pfeiffer just about finds Wesley Hoyt. When you have possession, these tactics are horrible. They are horrible. There's nowhere to go with the ball. Everyone just sprints away from you. Could challenge Kenny McLean. Patrick Pfeiffer stands up. Ollie Watkins on the edge of the box. Wesley Hoyt forces Diaby wide. And it's a good tactic because it makes Jason Steele's job that much easier. Allows him to just hold his position at the near post and parry the ball away. We have Tiano Ballo out to meet the short corner on this side. That makes so much more sense than Patrick Pfeiffer. And it's a good challenge by Tiano Ballo. He continues to impress me defensively. Oh, lovely ball into Josh Sargent. He can't quite find Kenny McLean with the header, though. Lewis O'Brien intercepts. Just into the feet of Jason Steele, who looks for Borja Sainz on the left-hand side. Had no chance of finding him. Sails out of play. So it will be an Aston Villa throw, which Diaby collects from. Josh Sargent dropping back to try to defend. Borja Sainz doing the same. Lewis O'Brien with his relentless motor pressing Aston Villa. And Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, one of several interesting new additions for Aston Villa this season, picks up a booking. It's a poor challenge on Tiano Ballo. What is that free kick? What on earth is that? Lewis O'Brien. O'Brien should at least provide us not an outlet ball exactly, but more of a point of contact to link the defenders with the forwards. Since he's on stay back while attacking, he's on free roam. So he should be dropping in to collect the ball from the back line and hopefully be that link between the back line and the front line. Matty Cash beats Harry Toffolo. Can he get a cross in? Not quite. Pulled back by Aston Villa to Diaby. Somehow finds its way past Wesley Hoyt. Doesn't find its way past Jason Steele, though. Tiano Ballo finds Wesley Hoyt. Harry Toffolo once more. Lewis O'Brien. Big switches on. Gets far too much. I think those are the kinds of balls you need to be looking for, though. Big diagonals early. Marius Wolf was in acres of space on the right-hand side. O'Brien just overcooked the pass. But the pass was on. The option was there. The idea was right. It was just the execution that was wrong. So perhaps you need to be looking for those passes a little bit more often. Oh, what a ball that is. What a challenge that is. Harry Toffolo gets his foot in at the last minute to prevent Moussa Diaby from getting the shot away. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg cannot keep up with Harry Toffolo either. Tries to lift the ball into the path of Borja Sainz. We've defended really, really well in this first half. That's another good ball to Moussa Diaby. Golovin cutting in. off Aston Villa's left. We've been really good in this first half defensively, but it's going forward where we have really struggled. We've failed to put almost anything together, really. Kenny McLean can't win it back. Still in pursuit, though. Golovan. Marius Wolf to try and stop the cross from, I believe, Moreno, which he does successfully. Ollie Watkins, however, slips it through to Tielemans. And we are doing a good job of at least protecting the centre of the penalty area. We're forcing the shots from Aston Villa when they do come from wide positions. Got to win it. And we do. And that just means Jason Steele, as I said earlier, can just take up a position on the near post and just parry away. So he's made a number of saves in the first half so far. Or in the game so far. But they have all been relatively comfortable. Decent enough first half performance. I can't say I'm loving the tactics. That might need some tweaking. It might need some getting used to. But we have seen some moments of promise at the very least. Thank you for checking out this episode of our realistic Norwich City career mode. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're approaching the end of the FC24 cycle now, but there'll be plenty more content to come with the release of FC25, including 12th man memberships. If you want to get more involved with the channel, check out the membership tiers on my homepage. Memberships start at less than £2 per month and come with a whole host of benefits and rewards, including you being able to feature in my career mode saves. We'll be starting a road to glory with a created club as soon as FC25 drops. So if you want to be included in the save or even feature in our starting 11, become a 12th man member of the channel today. 12th man members also get exclusive early access to all of my videos, not only my career mode series, but also my realistic slider sets and everything else in between. If you want more information about exactly what each tier involves, be sure to check out this video on my homepage. If memberships aren't for you, you can also join the public area of my Discord server, or just keep watching and enjoying the content for free right here on YouTube. As always, I appreciate all of your encouragement and support. Now, let's get back to the video. And we will persist with those tactics and with the same starting 11 here in the second half. I would be more than happy with a point. I was slightly disappointed with the point we took from the Burnley game. I thought we did enough to win that game. I think we're good enough to win that game. Sargent, can he bring it down? Not quite. Broha causing issues. Can't win the header. However, I would not be disappointed at all with a point from Villa Park. However that comes, you know, whether Aston Villa score and we manage to claw our way back into it, whether we eke out a 0-0 draw, either way I would be happy with a point. Doesn't mean we're not going to try to win. Of course, when opportunities to score present themselves, we will try and take them. But I think with this system in the Premier League, we have to be defence first. We have to try and ensure what a challenge that is from Patrick Pfeiffer. Come on! We have to try and make sure, what a save, as a first priority that we don't concede. And Jason Steele is proving to be a massive help in that regard. And on the one occasion I want Borja Sainz to bomb it forward, he doesn't. Every single time we've had the ball, players have bombed forward until I actually want Borja Sainz to do that, and then he just stands there behind me, providing no help whatsoever. Tiano Ballo cuts inside. Good run. Kenny McLean. And he's just completely blocked off by the Aston Villa man. That continues to frustrate me. Just completely obstructing him. It was a good run from Kenny McLean, though. A good idea. It was the right kind of run. We are really missing Marcelino Nunez, though. That's going to be the other thing in this particular system. We kind of not designed this system for Marcelino Nunez because, of course, he has been injured. He was injured before we designed this system. But we did obviously have this in mind coming into the season. And in episode 1, this was the system pretty much that you guys voted for as we transition from season 1 into season 2. Tieno Ballo, go, go. And I very much had Marcelino Nunez in mind when planning out this 4-4-2. So for him to get injured in not only the first episode, but I think in the first game of the season is going to cause, you know, big problems for us, because we don't really have an ideal partner for Lewis O'Brien. O'Brien is an ideal centre midfielder for this particular system. High work rates, massive stamina, decent on the ball, good defensively. Golovan into the box, Wolf, good save. Again, I'm not sure how the Aston Villa man managed to squeeze it past our defender. Patrick Pfeiffer, very close to getting in a block. But Jason Steele again comes up with a great save. But with Marcelino Nunez out, we don't really have an ideal partner to Lewis O'Brien. Carried away again by Jason Steele. And Aston Villa just cannot find the corners. Again, it's a big save, but again, it's one he should be making, really. Patrick Pfeiffer wins the header. Doesn't head clear, though. Danger still not away. Nice little ball into, I believe, Diaby. Good challenge, Lewis O'Brien. Doesn't find Borja Sainz. And thankfully over. Matty Cash it was, cutting in off the right-hand side. Left-footed shot as well. We'll take that all day. A left-footed shot from Aston Villa's right-back. Don't mind that at all. So, I do think we might need to look for another centre midfielder in January. And I do already have a couple in mind. A couple of players that I have scouted over the course of the summer. And who look absolutely ideal. That may involve selling Johnny Rowe, though. It might necessitate selling Johnny Rowe, because I'm not sure we're going to have the money to bring in another centre midfielder unless we do that. Josh Sargent, good run in behind. Broha on the edge of the box. I wanted a first-time shot. I powered up a first-time shot. He took a touch. No clue why. Sargent's pass was perfect. Laid it on a plate for Broha to just put his foot through that. It would have been his left foot, to be fair. But we saw what happened when he took a touch. Better to just swing through it with your weaker foot than to take a touch and not be able to get the shot away at all. Toffolo finds Sainz. He'll just loft one into the box. That's Tieno Ballo at the back post. That is not the ideal target. Not the target we were aiming for. The score, however, as we approach the 70-minute mark, is still 0-0. Aston Villa looking to change that with Matty Cash down their right-hand side. Harry Toffolo puts a stop to that, though. But we'll go out for another Aston Villa corner. And I think Johannes Thorup is going to make a change or two before they take it. So it is going to be two changes. Ballo and McLean to leave the field. Rowe and Gibbs to replace them. So some fresh legs in midfield. And we will persist for the next 10 minutes or so to try and grab a goal in this game. But I think if we make it to 80 minutes and the score is still 0-0, that is a big if. Good challenge, Wesley Hoyt. Can he find Broha? Not quite. Tielemans. Good save, Jason Steele. I was expecting, without doubt, the net to ripple on that occasion. But again, it's a poor finish from Aston Villa. It's not quite straight at Jason Steele, but it's not a great finish either. Thankfully, it is still 0-0, and if it remains this way at the 80-minute mark, we are just going to drop into our ultra-defensive game plan and try and see the game out with a point. Borja Sainz just plays it off the Aston Villa defender, out for a throw, and I think it's actually going to be a free kick, though, which Hoyt will take. Short to Toffolo. Lewis O'Brien wants it short. He gets it short. Marius Wolf on the right-hand side. Johnny Rowe wants it to feet, but is slow to meet it. And look, what am I supposed to do here? All I can do is go back to Wesley Hoyt. Because even Patrick Pfeiffer is forward. What are you doing so far forward? Patrick Pfeiffer has confused me to no end today. Racing out of the box to close down the short corner. Bombing it forward when we have the ball in a defensive position. Or in our own final third at the very least. Not exactly a defensive position. But I definitely think we need to make some tweaks. Let me know in the comments what kind of tweaks I should be looking to make if you do have suggestions. Ollie Watkins. Side netting. Was that a save? Looks like it was a save from Jason Steele. But I am struggling going forward. So let me know in the comments if there are any recommendations that you would advise I make. Or any changes that you would advise I make, rather. Hoyt into the feet of Sargent. Toffolo on the overlap. Keep running! Keep running! It's just been so disjointed. Every time I want somebody to run forward, they stop. Every time I want somebody to just hold their position, they bomb forward. Why Harry Toffolo stopped there, I do not know. We are still on our default game plan. He is on join the attack and overlap. He's making the run anyway, and then he just stops. Tielemans hits it straight at Jason Steele. 10 minutes to go. We're dropping into our ultra defensive game plan. We're trying to hold on to the point. So it will be 2 more changes for Johannes Thorup. Broha and Sainz to come off this time. 2 defenders to come on in Ryan Fredericks and Callum Chambers. So we will just sit in our flat back 5. We will just try and defend this 0-0 draw that we currently have somehow managed to eke out. Aston Villa still looking to change that though, as they have done for 80 minutes straight so far. Johnny Rowe with great feet. I just want the free kick. I just want the free kick there. Liam Gibbs. Liam Gibbs came on as well. He came on earlier? Marish Wolf is obviously offside. I've forgotten the substitutions I made. I'm pretty sure it was just 2 there and Liam Gibbs came on earlier. Emi Buendia comes on. I shouldn't have skipped that cutscene really. Because Emi Buendia, of course, former fan favourite at Norwich City. I have had a couple of suggestions in the comments to bring back some former Norwich City players. If I could bring back anyone, I could say it would be Emi Buendia. And we might look to try and make that happen. That's something else I would like you to let me know about in the comments below. Do you think that would be realistic? Buendia joined Aston Villa with high hopes and for a lot of money. About 40 million, I think Aston Villa paid for him in the end. Johnny Rowe. Could this be it? Could this be the tactics working to perfection? After all. No! Rowe puts it wide. I thought that was in. Martinez beaten. Inches past the post. Johnny Rowe had an opportunity to change the trajectory of his season. To change the trajectory potentially of our season. And he fails to do so. Puts it wide. We would have had the lead with 2 minutes to play. Oh, I really hope Aston Villa do not score now. What a swing that would be. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that's gone wide. I was certain that was in. I thought I'd placed it perfectly. Good challenge, Fredericks. Can't find Wolf. I've completely forgotten what I wanted you to tell me in the comments. Now, it was, is Emi Buendia back to Norwich realistic? Villa paid about 40 million for him. He hasn't really been able to get it going at Aston Villa though. And that's been partly due to injury. And partly due to the fact that Villa then shortly after bought both Diaby and Bailey, who have got it going at Aston Villa. So He's played very little football for them, really, since joining. A couple of seasons ago now as well. So I certainly think it would be realistic for Buendia to leave Villa. Villa going to win it late now. Golovin steals it for Villa at the death after we almost stole it minutes earlier. Somebody is perpendicular. Oh, that is brutal. That is brutal. Point beaten. Pfeiffer comes across, as does Chambers. He can't get a block on it. We did pretty much all we could. Oh, it's just gone past his leg. Steele unsighted. Finally beaten. Aston Villa steal the win. Let's try and go ultra attacking. I'm not sure we were going to get the opportunity, and we didn't. Last kick of the game. Oh, that is so brutal. That is so brutal. We did very much ride our luck at times in that game. Villa were the better side, like, without doubt. A draw would have been a pretty unfair result for Aston Villa. A win would have been absolutely outrageous, and we were inches away from grabbing that through Johnny Rowe. I mean, it's a deserved victory for Aston Villa, you have to say, but doesn't make it sting any less. If anything, it makes it sting even more. Not the best outing for the new tactics, it has to be said. We looked pretty terrible going forward, to be honest, with the exception of a handful of occasions when we did manage to hit Aston Villa on the quick counter-attack and get players in behind before they were able to regain their shape. So we will be trying a slightly different configuration in our final game of the episode as we host Manchester United at Carrow Road. Instead of fast build-up play and direct passing, we're going to be going with balanced and forward runs. So that should allow us to continue to be a threat in behind, but should also hopefully give us a few more options to link the play when we do win the ball back. And this was another game when we were on the back foot early, and we had again to call on Jason Steele to make some early saves. But despite United's early pressure, we did manage to break away on the counter-attack and cause some issues for them. Armando Broja forcing a really good save from Onana. Josh Sargent actually almost put us ahead from the resulting corner, and Armando Broja tried an ambitious strike from long range. Both strikers caused issues for the Manchester United defenders when we did manage to have a little bit of possession of the ball. But on the balance of play, United were the better side in the first half, and they probably felt a little bit disappointed for the score to be 0-0 at half-time. Bruno Fernandes had a chance to give them the lead just before the break, but he skewed his shot wide. But United came out of the blocks quick in the second half. Rasmus Højlund linking well with Bruno Fernandes, who again had a really good chance to open the scoring. Jason Steele was quick off his line to narrow the angle though, and made another good save. Steele made an even better save when Garnacho pulled it back from the touchline to Rasmus Højlund, who took a first-time shot with his left foot, turned it towards the far post, but Jason Steele again managed to parry away. A really good reaction stop. And Steele would be called on again as Manchester United piled on the pressure. A really nice, quick, one-touch passing move on the edge of the penalty area allowed Rasmus Højlund to find a bit of space. And United would have the lead from the resulting corner. Garnacho again causing issues for our defenders. Jason Steele, after a monumental performance in the game so far, gambled far post. Bruno Fernandes went near and made it 1-0. United would only have the lead for about 10 minutes though, despite creating almost nothing in the second half. We did manage to take advantage of United on a quick counter-attack. Armando Broja with a really nice flare pass through to Adam Eder. The substitute leveled the scoring about 20 minutes from time. Despite United's pressure, they just couldn't find a way past our backline or Jason Steele. I thought they might have a winner 5 minutes from time, but it was a good initial save from Martinez's shot. The rebound, fortunately, I think there was a fingertip in there from Jason Steele. Either way, it ended up wide. So we still don't manage a win against one of those big five clubs, so we still can't tick off that objective, but we do manage to take a point from Manchester United, which we have to consider a good result, especially considering we were on the back foot for most of the game. We did ride our luck again, and after taking just 2 points from 3 games in today's episode, we do find ourselves slipping a couple more places down into 13th. It's not a terrible tally though, considering the opponents that we have faced so far this season. And another silver lining in the episode is Marcelino Nunez has been cleared to return to first team training sessions. So we should hopefully have him back at some point next month when we have 5 games to get to. We're going to be travelling to Villa Park again, this time for the Carabao Cup. And we'll be facing Fulham and Chelsea at Carrow Road in the Premier League, as well as visiting Leicester City and West Ham. So it's taken a little while for these new tactics to bed in and for the team to adjust. But we will continue to try to make progress in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.